Mankind has arrived only recently to tinkering with genetics, their own, to cure genetic diseases, and in their crops to improve yield. They have only very recently mapped the entire human genome, making this available to scientists. Are we to presume that they are expert at tinkering, being virtual babes at this endeavor? We have detailed in prior Zeta talk that intelligent species often get into genetic engineering, that we engineered ourselves, that mankind was engineered in the past from many hominoid sources, and explained in great detail how we go about genetically engineering the new hybrid race that is mankind's next leap forward. Genetic engineering by intelligent species upon themselves or others, as allowed under the close supervision by the Council of Worlds, is not done by amateurs. By the time they are able to be done in a serious manner, the engineers are almost invariably spiritually advanced and very experienced in engineering in general. They're experienced because they've tinkered on lesser life forms. Have we and other races made mistakes during genetic engineering projects? Percentage-wise, there is only about 23% that did not have some kind of drawback or an error that had to be fixed. Some frank horror stories emerge. Why should genetic engineering be any different from the other enterprises undertaken by man or any intelligent species setting forth on a new path? Look at the history of man and electricity, the number of electrocutions, explosions, and false starts. Look at the history of air travel, the crashes, the lost planes, the white knuckles of air travellers as they try to remain calm while chirping stewardesses serve them drinks. These endeavours often have a long learning curve, and man as a creature of limited intelligence, being only on the first rung of the evolutionary ladder, will not arrive where he wants to be on any of these endeavours in his current limited state. This is by design, as given his immature spiritual state, he would wreak havoc by being able to do more than tinker and hope. Where then is man going awry in his tinkering? First, as a base, man should realize that genetic engineering has already been done by nature during evolution. Some of the things man struggles with, some of his diseases, are in fact protections from other problems, genetically selected to be passed forward only because they were of benefit in prior ages. The ability to pack food around one's middle in the form of fat, a buffer against starvation. This was, of course, balanced in the past by times of food shortage. The fat dropped. Man was not intended to be perpetually pudgy. High cholesterol or high blood pressure is an advantage when one has to fight a tiger or bear with naught but a knife or stone, or run like hell to escape. This was, of course, balanced in the past by a period of tranquility, unlike what modern man faces in his daily battles with tension in the workplace. The figurative tiger never dispelled. Even diabetes, developing later in life by the chubby and inactive, has a genetically selected advantage. The ancestors of those who did not develop diabetes during times of plenty, when early man had naught to do but sit in the berry fields or by streams overflowing with fish, were easy prey for predators, as they gained weight endlessly, huge toads that could not waddle away. Diabetes type T2 resists an intake of sugar by the cells and forces the body to lose weight at a horrific rate, then lifts when the human is again slim. Nature has evolved food crops that man fosters to resist insects and to produce seeds such as grain and tubers such as carrots and potatoes, far in excess of what the plant in nature requires to propagate itself. Plants that do so are already engineered by nature to be productive, or those parts that creatures eat, as unless the plant does so, rodents and bugs will consume them and the plant will not reproduce itself. The natural process that these plants are using should be enhanced. But something different is afoot among humankind, who have motives other than increased productivity. They seek control of the entire food production and distribution process, and by this control over mankind, who will thus become slaves, or so they hope. It is certainly no secret that Monsanto, in partnership with the USDA, has created and tried to enforce what is termed the Terminator gene, which prevents a hybrid plant from reproducing itself. No need for Monsanto to insist on contracts with farmers that require them to return year after year for more seed. The farmer cannot save seed to avoid this, as the seed would be no good and not germinate. This plan met with such an uproar that it did not move forward, but has stalled. Nevertheless, the mindset of those doing genetic tinkering with crops can be seen. If they do not care about causing mankind, those too poor to buy seed, from starving, how much would they care about the overall effects of the crops they are producing? If they get a stronger yield, they push their coercive tactics and contracts, using the stronger yield as an excuse. Of course, any safety measures, any results of such safety checks, are ignored and kept out of the media. This likewise has not passed unnoticed, nor without objection around the world.